It isn't often that a university president achieves icon status among students, but so far, President Marlene Tromp has achieved the unlikely, and she's done it by showing up. Today, she shows up on Across the Fence to talk about UVM's new strategic plan, the first in 5 years, and to explain what it means to Vermonters. Hello, Vermont. Maybe it's her background as a humanities scholar, maybe it's the impact of being a first-gen college graduate herself, but President Tromp's approach to leadership seems to be about creating community, quickly. Case in point, UVM's new strategic plan was produced in just 5 months following more than 50 official sessions with more than 1,000 participants across UVM, from staff to faculty, including extension faculty, to undergraduate and graduate students, not to mention personal visits to each college and hundreds of hours of informal conversations. The final document envisions a university that will strengthen Vermont and the world. How? That's what we're here to find out. Please join me in welcoming UVM's 28th president to the show, Marlene Tromp. President Tromp, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
It's a real pleasure to have you here today. So you seem to be determined to challenge the image of academia as an ivory tower. I mean, partly I see you everywhere. I see you on campus. I see you at events. I have seen you in 7 days. Literally running across campus. I mean, this is great. Talk to us a little bit about what it's like coming into the university.
You know, it's so important to me to connect with people and so important to me to build community. And I do have a lot of energy and I want to be in the places where the people that we serve are.
Yeah.
And that's our students. That's the people of the state of Vermont. So I've set foot in every one of our 14 counties.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yep, I did that by October.
Wow, all right, that's great. Okay, did you have any favorite destinations?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that's a fair question to ask.
There was no place that I went that wasn't spectacular.
Yeah.
And it really brought home for me what someone said to me, one of our students. I was over at the legislature and I met a bunch of our student interns. And one of our student interns said, she's from Pennsylvania, and when she told her parents she was going to the University of Vermont, her parents said, "You'll never come back," because Vermont is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
well, that is certainly one of the hopes we have with our students, right?
Yes,
is that they definitely find a home here. Well, let's talk about this new strategic plan, because this is a big deal. You're brand new to UVM this year, and right off the bat, colleges and campus units were asked to send delegates to be part of the process for making the new strategic plan. It was like, hello, I'm Marlene, and then the very next breath, there's a meeting tomorrow.
Right.
Explain the urgency and the intention behind the plan.
So I would say there's two things. First of all, we're in a moment of crisis, nationally, globally, in terms of higher ed. And boy, you better know what your priorities are when you're facing challenges.
Yeah.
So you can't wait to set an agenda. You really have to be focused on what should our priorities be now? What should our next steps be? Where do we put our energy to best serve our mission? And so that was one part of the urgency. The other part is so that we can all build that community together. You know, I think one of the effects of COVID was that people felt driven apart and they didn't feel connected. So the strategic planning process allowed people to meet each other from all over campus and to see each other's work.
Well, 1,000 different members of the campus community, right?
And that was just in the face-to-face sessions. There were so many online inputs, and there were so many times that people stopped someone in the hallway and said, "You're my rep, how about this?" You know, and so we really took all that input seriously.
I think that's wonderful. Well, so it's broken down into pillars. There are 4 pillars. One focuses on students, one on research, one on access and partnerships, and one on community and infrastructure. We have just a little bit of time, but thinking about UVM and Vermonters, I have a question about each. So first, students. Something that jumped out at me is an emphasis on student well-being, finding purpose, building resilience and balance. Developing critical thinking. I'm kind of quoting from here. How does this plan understand the role of education in the life of UVM students? Because well-being, that's unusual to have such a focus.
It's becoming less so, because what we're understanding from the data and the research is that when people feel a sense of well-being, they perform better academically and they go on to do bigger things. So we want to give them that boost while they're there. but we also want to ensure that we're bringing in a huge range of Vermonters. And I want to make sure people know about the Vermont Promise, which is if your family makes less than $100K a year, you can come to UVM tuition free. So we're reaching out and trying to connect with Vermonters and also make our own students who are graduating in the state see the value of getting that degree and giving back in their communities.
Yeah, and thinking about how then they're going to refit that back into their life there.
Yes.
All right, so number 2 is about research and teaching, and I'm going to quote again, because this statement really stuck out to me. Engage in teaching and research that ensures our books will be read, our art appreciated, our technologies commercialized, and our practices and policies implemented throughout the region, the nation, and the world. Do you want to elaborate about that?
Do you know what's so exciting to me is that's UVM's commitment to impact. We don't want to be an ivory tower, as you said in your opening remarks. We want to be the university that will reach out and solve problems for people, that will help our state thrive and help the people of our state thrive. We want to be making an impact in the world, so it's really about focusing on the power of a research university to make the world a better place.
Yeah, and really thinking about the fact that not doing research necessarily just for the sake of research, right? Or study for the sake of study, but thinking about what these applied applications can be as well.
Well, and some people will do that basic science research or that archival research that's just discovering new things. But others will build on that. So all those pieces are important.
Yeah, so thinking about how the research is layered up.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, so then number 3 is titled Creating Opportunity, Access, Engagement, and Partnerships. This one talks about UVM's land grant mission, and of course, for those of us on Across the Fence with our relationship with Extension, very important to us. It also talks about embracing learners from everywhere. So can you talk about this? And this feels like a place where everyday Vermonters are included.
Absolutely. And in fact, what I've told our whole leadership team is Extension should be the model for the whole university. We need to think about how we reach out and serve the way Extension has served. And that way we touch more people, we bring more people in. We're taking our path-breaking research to really change people's lives and to say, what do you need from UVM? Which is a disposition that the university was built to move forward with, and one of the ones we're recommitting to now.
I think that's wonderful. One of the things, obviously getting a chance to talk to Extension faculty about their work, but also talking to farmers and hearing what their relationship and their connection to the university is through those long ongoing partnerships is really an important part of how the university is perceived by the rest of the state, that they're a partnership.
Yes.
I think that's great. Well, okay, and then finally number 4 addresses the campus infrastructure. So we have human, digital, and physical. So what will forward momentum here look like?
Well, we're recognizing the ways that we have as a community of staff and faculty and students. We need to ensure that people are able to do their best work and that they're not focusing on things that are not letting them let their talents shine. So for example, we have folks who are keystroking in documents into 3 different software systems.
Yes, I can remember that from my time on campus.
So how can we actually increase the connectivity between our systems so that person gets freed up to bring their big ideas to the table?
So does this, oh sorry, I didn't interrupt you, go ahead, keep going.
And I think that also means, how do we make sure people are thriving within the university so that they're giving that thriving experience to our students?
Right, that's that human infrastructure.
Yes.
I think that there was something in there because it talked about creating, celebrating our campus community.
Yes.
And about creating a culture of openness and belonging.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
You know, one of the things that I did as soon as I arrived is I started meeting with groups of people that typically hadn't met either with the president's office or didn't feel like
and again,
their voice.
This is how she has achieved icon status already on campus. Well, no, but that was very meaningful. Like, you know, like the Cynic students, when you showed up at events, when you held events for students, that was something that I don't know if they'd experienced before or had anticipated.
And that helps us see the value that everybody's bringing. What I tell people on our team all the time, staff, for example, are the connective tissue of the university. The body doesn't work if you don't have people doing these amazing things to make it work. Our faculty are doing these extraordinary things, and the people that are supporting them help make it work. And our students are the people that are going to go out there and change the world.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay, so infrastructure being a very important one. Now, a plan is a blueprint, of course, right? I mean, so this is just the start. What do you hope comes next? So there's the immediate future, and then there's like a longer term future. What's the next steps?
It is just the blueprint. It is just a start. And what I've told people is, now the work really begins. So
after this frenzy of like 6 months of getting the strategic plan ready, now we do the real work, yes.
And so what each unit across the university will do, from extension to every academic unit to every support unit at the university, is they'll create strategic alignment plans. And those will be ready by this fall. And we're going to create tactics and metrics that will help us measure our success.
Okay.
So what do we need to do to better serve? What do we need to do to better educate? What do we need to do to better do our research? And each of those then will be how we assess our performance each year, is we'll keep working on those plans, those strategic alignment plans. And the exciting thing is we'll learn in the process too, and we'll evolve. So our tactics and metrics may change, but we're going to keep working it. And I've seen this work so well, where you can bring a large university together and get people moving in the same direction, and it just changes the world.
Well, and it sounds like you're quite excited about this.
I am. I am. This wonderful moment when our board approved it, and everybody just felt elated. The strategic planning committee was at that board meeting, and I just feel exhilarated, because what it does is it says, go do great things. And now we can all move together. And that feeling of moving together is one of the most powerful things you can do at an institution or organization.
Well, I think that's fantastic. Final question. What run are you most looking forward to taking once the weather improves and it's not negative degrees outside? Runner to runner here. I said that there was a picture of you running in 7 days. What run are you most looking forward to?
Do you know, I hiked Mount Philo right after I had hamstring surgery when we did my installation.
That is impressive.
And I'm ready to run that.
You're going to run Mount Philo?
I'm so excited to run it. So
well,
I'm still recovering. My hamstring's still recovering.
Okay.
But when I'm ready, I can't wait to do that run, because it's such a beautiful hike.
Well, obviously you are a woman on a mission. I appreciate it. President Marlene Tromp, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Our absolute pleasure. As always, Vermont, thank you for learning and exploring with me today, and thanks to the team that makes Across the Fence possible. I'm Amy Finley. This is Across the Fence. Come back and let's learn and explore again tomorrow.